Do I still believe Joseph Smith is a prophet? If you're new around here, hi, I'm Carly. I'm an ex-Mormon. I left the church last year after I went on a prayerful and scriptural journey that showed me that not only was polygamy never from God, but it was also never from Joseph Smith. So for the past year, as I've shared my scriptural and historical research with you guys, I've left a lot of you wondering, so does that mean that you still believe Joseph is a prophet? I get it. I know why you're confused. I continue to quote the Book of Mormon. I've made several videos about how Jacob 2 is a perfect chiasmus entirely condemning polygamy because every time these verses say these things, it's talking about the abomination of having multiple wives. I've made a video about how 2 Nephi 28 and Mormon 8 prophesy of the corruption of the Mormon church because they're specifically talking about the church with the Book of Mormon. So does that mean I believe that everything the Book of Mormon or Joseph Smith says is true? Nope. Now, the first Book of Mormon was published in 1830, and we can't compare it for inaccuracies with anything earlier because there are no transcripts. But Joseph wasn't quite so savvy with the Doctrine and Covenants. The first edition, published in 1833, was called the Book of Commandments, and Joseph was honest about this revelation in 1829, where it says that God says that he has a gift to translate the book, and I have commanded him that he shall pretend to no other gift, for I will grant him no other gift. Except in the 1835 Doctrine and Covenants, he changed this verse. You have a gift to translate the plates, and this is the first gift that I have bestowed upon you, and I have commanded you that you should pretend to no other gift until my purpose is fulfilled in this, for I will grant unto you no other gift until it is finished. So this is what we see today in Doctrine and Covenants 5, verse 4. The blue is what was originally written in 1833, the orange was added in 1835. But that's not the only thing. In 1833, it says that God told Joseph to preach nothing but repentance and to not show the world these other things. But in 1835, that was changed to say, don't show the world these other things until it is wisdom in me. And for reference, that is D&C 1921. But one of the biggest additions was to section 27. So what used to be a short section about the sacrament turned into a long section about God telling Joseph how he's going to drink wine with him and all these biblical prophets who had visited him and given him the priesthood. There's several problems to the additions of this section, but the biggest one being that this is the first time the priesthood is ever mentioned. Another problem being that he listed Elias and Elijah as two separate people when they are quite literally the exact same person. Elias is just the Greek New Testament translation of the name, and Elijah is the Hebrew Old Testament translation of the name. There's also several times in the New Testament when Jesus himself says that John the Baptist is Elijah, so that's literally the same person being listed 3 times. He also incorrectly said that Elias was the angel that visited Zacharias, John's father, when we all know that was the angel Gabriel. Now I know someone will say, no, priesthood has been mentioned since the very beginning. D&C section 2 says that in 1823, Elijah visited Joseph and said that he would be restoring the priesthood through him. However, this section is actually just an extract from the Joseph Smith history that he wrote in 1838, and this section was added to the Doctrine and Covenants by Brigham Young in 1876. So I hope this is making sense. It's really hard to verbalize my thoughts and beliefs about Joseph Smith in a concise, understandable manner, but I like to play devil's advocate and think maybe it could have been from God. Either way, there is truth in the Book of Mormon. Somehow his own book condemns his own future church, and it's hidden in plain sight for members today to read. It even prophesies that this church would claim that God gave his power to man. So while I can confidently exonerate Joseph from ever teaching or practicing polygamy, and I can testify that there is truth in the Book of Mormon, I do not put him on a pedestal or idolize him as a prophet, seer, or revelator because it's clear he also manipulated things. A lot of his revelations are not biblically accurate, and we should not put our trust in the arm of flesh.